Welcome back to the Coach Steve Show, everybody. If this is your first time here, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow right on Apple and iTunes. Follow on X, Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff. Trying out a different camera angle for any returning viewers. I don't know how I like it. I'm going to have to play around with it a little bit. May have to adapt here. Adapt or die, as they say. So if you're a returning viewer, I'll have books and stuff there, but tonight we're going to discuss some football, get back to the meat and potatoes of how this podcast all started. So tonight, football coaches, we are going to talk about those pesky four eyes. When I've coached O-line for most of my coaching career, and those four eyes cause a lot of problems with offensive linemen. And so tonight we're going to talk about if inside zone is your run play, like that's your bread and butter, right? It's 3rd and 2. What run play you're going to call if it's inside zone? So we're going to talk about how you can handle the four eyes. Now, before I share my screen and we talk about it, I already know what some people are going to say. Well, if it's a four eye, run a different play, right? We're trying to run to the outside. But most of the time when they get into four eyes, you have an outside linebacker. So we're going to discuss different ways that you can attack those four eyes if inside zone is your main run play. So if you're watching, leave a chat comment. Do I sound okay? Different camera angle, all that good stuff. So give me a second here. Got to adjust this. Okay. All right. So let's see here. Give me a second. Sorry, I'm screwing around with this. Okay. So let's say you're a 10 personnel team. Okay. And you come across a 3-3 stack or a 3-4, anything like that. And you've been running inside zone very successfully, right? It's working. You're running up the middle. How defenses are going to try to stop you is they get into four eyes, which is inside shade of our tackles. Okay. They have their nose guard. I'm not saying 4-2-5 teams can't do this, but from my experience, this is what you see. Normally, when they go four eyes, they will have a backer somewhere. He's going to be on the line of scrimmage, a little bit on the outside, or he's going to be off just a hair. And what they'll do is if they have multiple safeties, multiple linebackers, they will walk one of them down, and it could be both sides. So they could have them like this, so it looks like a cover 0. They can keep a 1 high safety. They could have this guy here. They can walk him down. It might be four eyes on both sides. It might be four eyes just on one side. They can go four eye on this side. Keep him at a 5 technique or 4 technique, which is head up the tackle or outside. Either way. So let's say on your right side, we're going to go inside zone right, and they have a 4 eye. Most likely, they're going to have that outside backer. So different ways that you can handle this 4 eyes depends how you run your inside zone. If you are an inside zone team that runs on tracks where everybody steps to the right and they're responsible for an area. So if you go on tracks and you're not quite looking for double teams, then he would stay on his track to take care of that backer. So this, instead of inside zone, it kind of looks like mid zone. You can even kind of look at this as like an outside zone. The right guard would stay on his tracks, and that's how you would handle that 4 eye. The center would stay on the nose. The left guard would come and help on that nose. They then would be responsible for that linebacker. I call it a plus linebacker in my offensive terminology because I got that from Coach Rudolph at Ohio. He calls it a plus, and that's because that's the first linebacker to the side that we're running inside zone. And depends if you want to run inside zone where the left tackle, I've seen it where they block here, hand it off to the running back, and you're just looking to get downhill. I have always told him to leave that guy, and you're trying to cut off that Mike linebacker. That's if you're staying on tracks. And so most likely the center would be the one to go there. if you are a team like the where I've always been, where we're double teaming, I would tell the linemen when I was coaching the linemen, right now being in charge of the whole offense, I'm looking for double teams. So we know that if there's a 4-eye here and we're running inside zone right, this outside linebacker, I know it's an L. I don't know why Huddle labeled it as an L. I told him I did not care about him at all. I wanted double team. So if there was a 4-eye, they would, the right tackle and right guard would double the 4-eye. They would be responsible for that plus side, because in my world, wherever that first double team is happening, that's who's in charge of your plus linebacker. So then the center and the left guard would double team. Left tackle's trying to come underneath and cut that off. And your running back can get the ball and go. The reason why I don't block the end is because the quarterback's reading him. So if this guy runs up the field, he hands the ball off. If he squeezes the left tackle, if he crosses the left tackle's face, he would end up taking him. Now, I know that means I have nobody for that Mike backer, but hopefully by then we're getting 3 yards. In my world, you're getting 2, 3, 4 yards. It's a successful run play because eventually it's going to break away. And that's if you're on the front side 4-eye. Now, I know this backer is going to come flying around, but our running back needs to make a decision and see that. And if that were the case and they're a 1 high and he's leaving, they're a 3-3 team. And if it was a true 3-3 team, they'll stay in that stack, and he comes and this, the outside linebacker, safety, whatever, he's the one that comes down and this one responsible, then me personally, to help out with that 4-eye, you would RPO, but we'll get to that another time. So you would handle that 4-eye. Now, if you get 2 4-eyes, so let's say they're a 3-4 team. So if they're a true 3-4 team, they would have 2 safeties. They'd have these 2 inside backers. If they want to go true 4-eyes on both sides, most likely these guys are going to walk down either, again, on the line of scrimmage, or they're going to be off. Most of the time in a 3-4 world, they're going to be slightly off, splitting the difference between the tackle and that outside receiver. And this is if you're in 10 personnel. So we're still 2-by-2 here. This is where it becomes a little difficult. I know you're probably saying, well, run a different play, run pin pull, something like that. I agree. But this is for if you don't have a quarterback that can check it, if anything else like that. And so how I would do this is you'd have to decide where you want your double teams to come from and how you run inside zone. So for me, again, we always talk about I don't want to block the backside end, but now that he's in here, you're like, does he block him? Does he just wash him down? So front side of inside zone right, you'd be looking to double team with the right guard and right tackle, trying to get to that first backer. Like I said, first double team gets to the plus linebacker to that side. Center is going for the nose. And this is kind of where you have to make a decision here. Do you want double team on this nose and tell your tackle to try to cross face? Now, I'm going to tell you from coaching, from playing, that's a hell of a block to ask, especially at the high school level. College, you can probably get away with it. In high school, that's a tough block. So you have a decision to make here. So you can go double team on the nose, or you can tell the center, hey, you're base blocking, just kind of take him where he wants to go as long as you don't get blown backwards. You get another double team here, and you try to see if you can't push it to that backer. Now the read for the quarterback becomes this outside backer. That's how I teach quarterbacks. I know some say you always read this guy, and I'll get to that, how you handle it in a second. But I would tell the quarterback in this situation, you are reading the left outside linebacker. If he decides, because if you're blocking on this side, I don't know how you run your inside zones. If they're all blocking and you see he's getting blocked and you want to pull and run, awesome. If you're a team that runs RPOs and it's an automatic, bubble screen here, key screen, pup screen, whatever you want to call it, all you do is read him. If he triggers to run, You can pull it and throw it now instead of running, or you can just hand the ball off, whichever you're more comfortable with. But now the running back has to understand, because we're not in pistol, we're in that offset sidecar. He has to be able to see the four eyes and understand where these double teams would come from, and understand that your center now is in a solo block, which is still a tough block unless you have a beast of a center. But if it's just your average Joe center, you have to understand that you have to cut it, or you have to bounce it up until the right guard, and understand that you're going to have to put your head down and get yards. And it's going to be a nutty gutty play here. Now, if this outside backer that's covering our H blitzes, the one by the Y on the outside blitzes, and they make the tackle, I always say then we have to find a new running back. If you can't put your foot down and try to get the 2 yards, 3 yards that we need, then I always say you're fired, or it's just not your day, man, or you're going to sub out and get your mind right. That's another way to handle your four eyes. And again, we're going over four eyes out of your 10 personnel. So we're 2x2, even if you're 3x1, anything else like that. Another thing you could do, I mentioned how some coaches, when they run inside zone, they say always read the last defensive lineman. So if they go 2 4 eyes here and you were running, now let's try to go inside zone left here. We've been on the right for a while. So we're going to run inside zone left. So now if we ran it like we did before, double teams here looking to cut off that guy. Now, if you tell the quarterback, you're always reading the last defensive lineman, not the linebacker, the last defensive end. Then you can create another double team here with your center and right guard on the nose. You can arc release the backside tackle, and now he's reading that defensive end. So now if that defensive end feels that right tackle go out and he follows him for a second, you're blocking him essentially. You're taking him a step out of the play. Again, running back kind of has to know when that's happening, because he may not necessarily have a cutback lane, because this guy could show this guy, if he just steps, but he's athletic, the defensive end, and comes back. He has to know this is just going to be follow these double teams, get what you can. So now, if you're a team that wants to block on the front side of all run plays, and the defensive end's like, well, my job is to protect this gap, so he steps down and the quarterback keeps it, he now has 3 blockers out there. If you're a team that runs a screen, because right now I have my Y on the line of scrimmage. If you're a team that runs like a key 1 here, there's still a blocker out here, so he could still pull and throw it. He can still pull it and run. It does not matter. That key screen, that key 1 should occupy the corner for a second. The Y is looking to block first threat to safety. Now you have the lineman out there. So these are ways I think that you could combat those 4 eyes if you are a 10 personnel team. Those are just different ways I feel that you could go out of that and battle those 4 eyes. One other thing I believe you should do if they want to keep going 4 eyes is out formation them. So if they want to go 4 eyes, I firmly believe you add a tight end in there or a wing. So if you went and brought the tight end down, I call this pro right. So if it's pro right, you have your XH on the left side out as receivers. You have a tight end, and now you have a Z as the outside receiver. So now you're kind of forcing their hand here, saying, okay, are you going to stay in the 4 eye then? Or if you bring a tight end, does he go head up the tackle, or does he jump to that 5 technique? Now on the backside, they could still stay 4 eye, right? It doesn't matter. But on that side, they have to make that decision as a defensive coordinator. If they stay at the 4 eye, then they have to bring a backer down, and he has to at least be head up to outside that tight end, because if not, there'd be a fear of a run play where you now hook them and you get to the outside. So they have to maintain, because for younger coaches, you have to understand these defensive players, they're all responsible for gaps, unless they're stunting, obviously. But if this was just head up, we went back to that spread, and he's in a 4 eye, he is responsible for that B gap. This outside backer, no matter where he is standing, whether it's head up the Y, in between. He's responsible for C gap, unless the nose guard is slanted to the A gap. He has this, and this backer is responsible for C gap. That's very tough to do, but it's possible. But they would rather have these two backers play inside, right? So now the end would be responsible if he's a 4-eye for the B gap. Outside backer is responsible for the C gap. Your nose is either going straight here or he's responsible for one of the A gaps. A lot of games can be played from these defensive guys because the most important position on the field, people keep saying are quarterbacks, is actually offensive linemen. Because you line up like this, their minds start thinking like, well, he's not head up, he's not to my outside shoulder, this is a tough block, where's my double teams come from? So those are different ways that defense coordinators try to confuse them. So when they go to 4 eyes, you have to have some sort of answer, whether you practice it or whether you're in game mode. You have to be able to have those adjustments. So against those 4 eyes, if you go to a pro right here, we bring the tight end back as a true hand down tight end, and they want to stay those 4 eyes, and they bring a backer down. And let's just say you're running inside zone left again. It makes it a little bit easier because guard and tackle on the left side have a double team. Right guard and center have a double team. This right tackle can just wash that guy down. And we're telling the quarterback, you're reading that backer now. So this guy, the tight end, can try to release underneath. This almost becomes most of a handoff here because you're going to try to have everybody covered here, and you're still getting double teams. Out of that pro style, you can still do like an arc release here. So double team with the left guard, left tackle, double team center, right guard. Right tackle saying, hey, let's go take this linebacker for a ride. Now, you really don't have anybody for this this other linebacker or this end, but this could almost be an automatic keep to the quarterback if this is how they were going to line up. If they traditionally then kept that play side of the inside zone left of 4-eye, and they brought that backer out, so say this backer's like, hey, I'm outside the tackle or the tight end, you're going to go head up. Now it becomes double team from the left guard, left tackle. It becomes a double team center and right guard, double team with the right tackle and tight end. So now you have guys for those backers. Quarterback reads this outside linebacker, and he can keep and run if he squeezes, if he sits, hand it off. You're creating more double teams that way. So those are just different ways out of that to get to the 4-eye. Have a comment here. Get spicy if they spin that safety down for a 1-high look. Show us you can beat us through the air. Most can't. So are you talking about out of this pro set? Or are you talking about the 10 personnel complete spread look? So if they go like this and they want to walk the safety down and they get a 1-high safety against this pro look and they want to stay that 4-eye, if they want to line up like this, and I still wouldn't care. I do not care about that safety that's walked down and go to a 1-high. I could care less about that guy running inside zone. I tell my players inside zone, the reason why it's called inside zone is because we're running between the guards and the center. I want to get downhill. I want to get yards as quickly and as tough as humanly possible. So if they lined up like that, and let's just say we went to inside zone right, because to me they'd have to bump that 4-eye out, but on the backside they can keep a 4-eye and they could blitz this backer. Now, if they blitz that backer down the outside, I would tell my guys, hey, we have that bubble screen. So like for me, like, hey, there's a screen that's key too. So now the Y can kick out here. The right tackle's got this. The right guard's coming to help if need be. You can wash him down. Center and left guard can go here. So double team there, double team there. He's washing him down. But him washing him down, again, you practice this with your running backs. If it's a handoff, you need to know that you're probably following this, trying to get as much yards as you can. Now, again, I'm not drawing this up as a home run shot. Like we just had a joint practice with similar situations. It's a 2 to 3 yard run. And defensive coordinators, they clap and cheer when it's only a 2 to 3 yard run. Offensive coordinators, it's 1st and 10. We're clapping on a 2 to 3 yard run. Yeah, it could be better. Yeah, we want better, but this is just exactly. We've got another comment here. 3 yards is a win. It's a win for defense coordinators. It's a win for offensive coordinators. But I kind of lean towards it's a win for offense coordinators because if it's 1st and 10, you get 3 yards. 2nd and 7, you run you run a play, you get another 3 yards. It's 3rd and 4. Run it again. It's 4th and 1. Run it again. First down. Those are the type of mentalities that you have to tell your lineman, quarterback, and running back. If they want to roll that safety down, if we go back to our 10 personnel, like our comment was saying, so if we go out here, they walk this safety down, and it's a 3-4, 3-3 team. Doesn't matter if it's a 3-3 team, and they line up like this. Becomes a little more difficult, and they want to go 2 4 eyes on us, which we saw, and they've walked that safety down to kind of help. So now you got 2 outside backer safety types. It's a 3-3 or it's a 3-5, whatever you want to call it. They're going to sit there and say, you have to pass the ball, right? Well, we're a run team, right? We're a spread run team. It becomes difficult, I know. But 4 eyes again. Right guard, right tackle, double team to get there. You can look to double team the nose to there and try to cut them off. That's probably your best way to do it. But you better have some type of screen going on. You better have, in this situation, you better have some type of pass play, whether it's a hitch, slant. Again, that's how you handle 4 eyes. But that's getting out of the topic of tonight. So if it's 4 eyes again, you're trying to do it that way. If you want, you can tell the center he's getting a double team there. Left tackle can leave him alone completely and try to cut that backer off, which is going to be very difficult. But again, you see this type of look, 2 to 3 yards, 2 to 3 yards, 2 to 3 yards. You're telling your lineman, hey, we're trying to get a push. We're trying to get 2 to 3 yards, and you keep running this. It's I remember the Titans quote. It's like Novocaine, run the 6 plays. Eventually it works. You run this, you run this, you run this. You get some yards. 4 eyes are a pain. I've only had 1 or 2 teams at the school I'm currently at now, going into the year 5 or 6 here. Only 2 teams have ever gone 2 4 eyes on us, and that's because we were running ISO right up the middle, and they got tired of it, so they went to these 4 eyes. But this is my personal viewpoints of how you handle 4 eyes, and I know RPOs, all that stuff. So blocking wise, that's how you could do it. Scheme wise, that's how you could do it. You can out formation them. So like I said, you can add this, bring your tight end down. You can keep him out there and bring the H in as a fullback. But again, once you go tighter, you're inviting more defenders in. But if you're committed to running the football, inside zone is your play. You can start to out formation them. You can get into like a tight end wing on the right side. Your wide receiver out, so now you're getting into this look. It does invite someone else to the party, but now you're putting that 4 eye in a situation. So another way to battle that 4 eye is, do you pull the 4 eye out with you? Because if they keep that 4 eye there, I know it invites other run plays. So I think you're trying to pull out that 4 eye, because I personally think you're trying to bring him to the party here. So in this type of situation, if you run inside zone right, you could double team here now with your left tackle, left guard, center and right guard can double team, right tackle and tight end can double team. It looks kind of like duo now. And then this guy's handling that safety. You get blocks everywhere. That's one way to do it. If you want it, and now it looks really like duo. If you did not want to do all of that and you wanted left guard nose to double team, right tackle and right guard to double team, Y help here. H, you can run some type of arc release seal play here, like a trap. You can tell the H to insert to be another blocker. So if they're double teaming here, left tackle can arc release and you can read him. The H is just kind of inserting because that's going to be a tough block for this left tackle to get if this Mike decides to go. Like they're running into stuff. I know that invites him to kind of blitz, but again, now you have a tight end there to kind of help take care of that as well. Now, again, I don't try to draw these up and say these are your 20-yard runs. These are tough, nutty runs because I know, at least for me, inside zone, we've always aimed for the outside leg of the center. Some people aim for the guard. Just kind of depends on your poison here. Now, again, this isn't just for linemen and all the skill guys. Your running backs have to understand the blocking schemes up front, understand where they're going to go. So these are just, for me, creative ways to combat those pesky 4 eyes if inside zone is your main run play. Didn't want to draw anything else up. That'll be another topic. I understand that there's other schemes to put in that you can. I personally would run something else, but if that's your play, that's your bread and butter, those are different ways that you can fight against those pesky 4 eyes that us offensive guys hate, but especially us offensive line guys, we hate to see those 4 eyes. That's the topic for tonight, talking about how to go against those 4 eyes. If you're new here, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow right on Apple, iTunes, and Spotify. Follow on X, Instagram, TikTok. It's all in the description. Be on the lookout for videos like this, getting back into things like this. Be on the lookout for interviews coming up. June 28th, all you Air Raid fans, quarterback from Washington State that played for the legendary Mike Leach, Luke Falk will be on. So that will be fun for people. So join that. That's June 28th at 10 a.m. Central. So make sure you guys tune in for that one. So thank you guys for watching and or listening. Do all that stuff for me. Greatly appreciated. This is Coach Steve. We will see you guys next